that actually gives me, if I just go back, a sense of what I'm going to talk about now, okay? Because I know that I'm going to have to address those 3 points. Now, body of your outcome. Key findings are central. You can use a whole bunch of different sentence starters. On the S drive is a whole booklet of vocabulary, okay? And it's got tons of different sentence starters and things that you can use to help you. But in its most simple format, you're going to start off with the first key finding was, and then the next key finding was, all right? Then you're going to put your evidence in, okay? So that's really important. You're going to show that you have something that proves this. Then, if you're trying to get real fancy, you're going to support or contrast this evidence with other sources. So you might say something along the lines of, my interview first showed me how, I can't even think of a topic, how crocheting a bear is really a difficult process. And this was confirmed by my second source, which also showed me a similar point, right? Now, because I'm making this up, that wasn't very good. But you get the idea, hopefully. Now, I can't stress enough the importance of that last bit. Your English teachers and history teachers and all of that would have always bombarded you with this. Link back to the question. If you don't finish off a point with, this is why my answer is really important, we tend to not know that that's really important. And if you have to make us guess, then you're not going to do as well, because we don't know what you're actually talking about. You've got tons of information that you know, and you know why it's important. Please make sure you tell us. So here's my example. We're opening with a clear topic sentence and we're linking it to the type of research. So here we are. It was evident through a multitude of interviews. Yep, there's my evidence. Conducted that there was a consistently high proportion of stressed Year 12 students in Term 2. Here I am answering, when did Year 12s get stressed? Well, in Term 2. How do I know it? Interviews. Maybe there's another one. Research clearly suggested that there was a link between time management skills and stress. Okay, really clear. I'm talking about time management and stress. Third one, there were many easy tips and tricks to combat stress. Perfect. How did I know that? By collating a range of qualitative perspectives. That's a little vague. You might put some more stuff in there, but I knocked this up late. Now, those words in bold at the front, they are not essential. They're kind of like just fancy add-ons. If you were struggling for words, you'd get rid of them. You can't afford to waffle. So I've just chucked them in to show that, they're a nice little fancy intro sentence. That's really your call. If you don't write like that, don't write like that. It's not it's your outcome, not mine. Then we need to back up your topic sentence with explanations. Hopefully you're thinking, God, she's repeating herself. Yes, I am. You're going to reference and you're going to show in your question that there is, what is going on? A sense of where you got your information from. There we go, one study in green, and got some info, 90% of participants. Okay, nice little stats there. But then see how I've supported it with an additional point. All right, so one study suggested something, and then some bloke at Cambridge also suggested it. What I have done there that is more powerful than just whacking in slabs of quotes is I've actually created my own sentences out of the data. Now this is something that I would always recommend that you start with the quotes, okay? Because this is hard writing. Start with the quotes. Mr. X said, quote, right? But then don't finish there. Make sure that you integrate some discussion at the end. What does this mean for your topic? Mr. X said blah, which made me think, or which showed, or which clearly indicated, blah, 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 blah. Okay? You need to be making sure that it links together with your question. All right. So, I have given you a couple of examples of writing. They do not have to be written like that though. We have tons of exemplars on the S Drive, on the SACEboard website. Have a look at how people are putting this together. It does not have to be a formal written piece. I'm just going for the formal one because most people tend to do that. Be creative though, right? We really want you to be creative. We want you to really draw on your talents and skills, and we want you to really benefit from that process. This shouldn't be horrible for you. Now, just to reiterate one more time, You're being marked on key findings. If you don't have key findings yet, you need to get them. You're being marked on your synthesis of sources. If you don't have sources, guess what? You need to get them. Synthesize literally means bring it together. Okay? You're going to bring it all together so that you can expertly prove a point. You're going to bring together all your sources and you're going to whack them into a nice polished argument. Now, how on earth do you do that? Because it's a bit scary. That is where the summary table came in. Now, the summary table is my word for it. Your teacher might have a different word for it. You have probably done this a million times because you're all good students and you plan your assignments. Whatever planning mechanism you use, that is essentially a summary table, right? So if your summary table looks different to that girl's summary table, do not freak out. They are totally different. We should be seeing them all in their own sort of style. I'll get back to that in 1 second. Just quickly, to conclude, can you please remember that we want to follow the KISS theory in the outcome, which means keep it simple, superstar, because we don't want you trying to overcomplicate this. Your conclusion is the same as any conclusion you've ever written in your life. No new ideas, short and sweet, bringing it together. Maybe if you're doing a report, there's some recommendations that you have to integrate, but generally it is your final commentary. What is the answer to your question? Bang, that's it.